Hello my fellow Wasteland Wanderers, and welcome to 10 more great mods for Fallout 4 on PlayStation 4. Since the first video was so well received and there are so many more great mods, I thought I should make a part 2. So let's start with number 10. We'll start with a simple mod that overhauls the castle settlement and Minutemen headquarters, the castle. This mod adds much more green grass, fixes the walls, removes floor clutter, and expands the buildable area. If, like me, you're a fan of the Minutemen and choose them as your preferred faction, this mod is essential to help restore them to their former glory. It even adds a massive tree smack dab in the middle of the castle, which for some reason actually looks really good and I actually quite like it. It just makes the castle look stronger and more secure, and buffs up the Minutemen a little bit more and makes them look like a stronger, more capable faction. So up next at number 9 we have the Plentio Exploration mod. Now this mod adds 9 new interiors and 7 new exteriors. Most are located in Concord, following the road up from Red Rocket, and the mod author was disappointed with the lack of houses and buildings that you can actually enter along that road, so he created this mod to make the world feel a little bit less empty. Some of the areas even have their own stories, which are told through terminals. It's a fun little mod that's consistently updated all the time, and it's definitely worth a download for a little bit of extra exploration. Next we have Wacky Weapons Workshop. This mod is mainly just meant for a little bit of fun, and what it does is it allows you to craft wacky weapons at a chemistry workbench, which you can then add any vanilla mod from the game onto those weapons. There are a few limitations, but in general you can pretty much add any mod to any weapon, which is absolutely insane. One of the weapons that I created was a minigun with a tri-barrel, a 10mm reflex sight, a shotgun bayonet, and the rapid and 2-shot legendary effects, and just to top it off, the minigun shot cannonballs instead of the normal minigun rounds, which made an absolutely insane weapon, with the 2-shot legendary meaning it shot 2 cannonballs with every shot, and with the rapid legendary meaning it shoots 25% faster. So this thing was just absolutely insane. One thing I would say is just make sure you save before using your creation, because it could possibly crash your game. And there are 2 separate mods for this one particular mod. There's one for the base game and there is a complete version for all the DLCs. So if you don't have the DLCs, just get the base version of this mod. If you do have the DLCs, then get the complete version, because then that will include the DLC weapons and mods. The cheat room is great for me because it's really good for making videos, as it allows you to get almost every item from the game, but it's also good if you just want to mess around with some stuff, or you don't have the time or patience to go out and find the stuff in game by questing and exploring. It allows you to sort of test out weapons and armors and different items in the game that you wouldn't otherwise be able to get hold of if you didn't have the time or didn't want to put the effort into getting yourself. Unfortunately, the cheat holotape and a few other features of the mod don't actually work, and it may crash your game due to PlayStation 4 restrictions. And there are many patches for this mod that add the DLC items, so if you have the DLCs, make sure you download those patches for Far Harbor, Nuka World and Automatron. The mod also includes all power armor, it includes some cheat weapons and a shooting range. The cheat room will also be marked on your map, and it's just near Vault 111. If you're against cheating, this mod probably isn't for you, but some people may find it useful for just testing weapons out, potentially for video making, or just if you want to use the best guns in the game and you don't want to have to go through all the rubbish to get to them. At number 6 we have Aliens of the Commonwealth. This mod adds some alien action to Fallout 4, changing the Federal Surveillance Center K-21B in the glowing sea into an alien base. It's just a fun little dungeon to run through where you'll have to fight off hordes of aliens whilst gaining a bunch of alien blaster ammo and even some unique alien blaster pistols. The dungeon is genuinely really fun to run through, fighting off all the hordes of different aliens. There's even some special unique commander and differently named aliens. Just a nice little fun dungeon to run through, and at the end of the dungeon you'll find the 5 unique pistols in an end of dungeon chest, which contains the Anal Probe pistol, the Disintegrator Ray pistol, the Ion Detonator pistol, the Zap-O-Matic pistol, and Zeta's Revenge pistol. Each one has its own unique effect, and they are all genuinely awesome and fun to use, my personal favourite being the Zap-O-Matic. It's a great mod that allows for a bit of fun and even adds 5 unique weapons that you can then use throughout the rest of your playthrough. At number 5 we have one of my personal favourite mods for the PlayStation 4, Buffed Minutemen Militia. This changes the Minutemen leveled list to make them a stronger militia. The changes affect all of the Minutemen that spawn in the game, including patrols and squads that you call in with your flare gun. It divides the Minutemen into several classes. The higher the level, the more equipped they are. Some even wear power armor, and some even wear heavy combat armor. It also increases the range of the flare gun and artillery grenade, and also makes the flare gun craftable under the chemistry station, and increases the Minutemen NPC's aggressiveness and combat styles. This makes the flare gun a lot more effective and makes the Minutemen a much more effective force, and the force they should have been in the vanilla Fallout. A must-have mod for anyone that chooses the Minutemen as their main faction, and a good mod even if you don't like the Minutemen, as it will make it much more fun, make it much more challenging, and much more interesting when you fight the Minutemen with your chosen faction. This next mod, called OC Decorator, is perfect for those of you who frequently use the workshop mode. It allows you to place small items without worrying about them disappearing or being knocked over. I have lost far too many unique items by them falling through the floor or being knocked out of place by dog meat, never to be found again. The OC Decorator menu is shown on the far right of the workshop menu, and it allows you to place small little inventory items onto places in your settlement, and it means that they won't get knocked over. They'll stay in that place and they will stay there forever until you either scrap them or return them to your workshop inventory. All that it requires is that you have one of those objects in your inventory, for most of them anyway. It's a great mod allowing you to display your own Nuka-Cola collection and other things that you are proud of and want to put on display in your settlement. At number 3 we have the Dismemberment Overhaul mod. Now this mod makes it possible to dismember humans, super mutants, deathclaws, etc. without killing them. It allows you to target body parts to try and break them off, so you could take out their legs and they won't be able to move around, or you could shoot their arms off and then they won't be able to shoot, or if they don't use weapons they won't be able to hit you with their arms because you've shot them off and now they're on the floor. There are 2 versions of this mod. One adds instant death on headshot, and one doesn't add instant death on headshot, so pick whichever one you prefer, but the instant headshot version can conflict with other mods, so personally I like to go with the version that doesn't add instant headshot, but is a really fun mod to use. I think it's perfect for a game like Fallout 4, where gore and violence is one of the main features of the game, and it just adds that little bit of extra gore and sometimes just quite hilarious moments to the game. Definitely worth a download. NPCs Travel adds 142 new NPCs that travel around the Commonwealth that you can encounter in various places. This could be factions, traders, scavengers, adventurers, and more. These are dependent on where you are in a story. For example, Minutemen patrols won't start appearing until you've unlocked 10 settlements and own the castle. Some NPCs will be friendly, some hostile, some depending on your relationship with certain factions. What this does is it just makes the world feel a little bit more alive, a little bit less lonely, and a little bit more lived in with other people other than you sort of roaming around the Commonwealth. Otherwise it just feels completely empty and a little bit unimmersive, but with these new NPCs travelling around it will feel a little bit more immersive and a little bit less lonely. So the final mod of the video is the PS4 exclusive Winter Blade. That makes it a little bit extra special, the fact that it's a PlayStation 4 exclusive. There are not many PlayStation 4 exclusive mods around, and this one is a premium quality mod, which makes it even more special. And you will find the Winter Blade at Jamaica Plain on top of some filing cabinets in the town hall basement. The sword itself is a whole lot of fun to use. Combined with a little jet, you can make some pretty special cinematic moments as you freeze your opponent solid and watch them fall in slow motion. I had a blast running around with this thing, some of the most fun I've had in Fallout in a little while. It may be a bit overpowered, but who cares when it's so fun to use. Freezing your opponents and chopping their limbs off whilst they're lead frozen on the floor. It's genuinely really fun to use, and the fact that it's a PS4 exclusive makes it extra special. Definitely one of the better mods that you can get for Fallout 4 on PS4. I would definitely recommend downloading this, even just for a little bit of fun, even if you're not going to use it during your playthrough, because it is a little bit too overpowered, but it's still great for a little bit of mindless running around, chopping limbs off, and just having a bit of fun. That brings us to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for sticking around and watching the whole thing. If you did enjoy it, if you liked it, leave a like and hit subscribe. If you really liked it, consider turning on the notifications by clicking the little bell next to the subscribe button, which will notify you every time I upload a video. I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe out there in the wasteland.